Used EV prices fall again as year-end pressures hit market. Tom Seymour, 14th of January 2026. Fleet News. Used EV prices face year-end pressure as new car offers weigh, by Amy Turner, 12th of January 2026, AM Online. Used electric cars saw biggest price falls in 2025. Friday, 9th of January, John Kerwin, motortrader.com. New car discounts pushed used EV prices down in December as values fall 2%. James Batchelor, January the 9th. Now that's quite worrying, isn't it? When we hear that they hit the ZEV mandate with 60,000 credits over, a surplus of 60,000 credits. They hit the ZEV mandate. So EVs must be selling. Used EV prices fall again as year-end pressures hit market, by Tom Seymour, 14th of January 2026. Used electric vehicle EV prices came under renewed pressure at the end of 2025 as a combination of seasonal cooling. Seasonal cooling? We're only in January, but December, there was a big jump in new EV registrations. Big jump. 33.6%, was it? 33%. So what's this seasonal cooling they're talking about here? That looks like a seasonal heating up to me. Seasonal cooling, rising supply and aggressive new car offers squeezed the used market, according to new data from Picasso Vehicle Intelligence and AA Cars. Picasso data shows that at the 3-year age point, used EV values fell by 2% just in December. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that's a lie. 3 to 5 year old used EVs are flying off the shelves. Flying. Vehicles that are flying off the shelf do not go down 2% in 1 month. Imagine if they went down 2% every month for a year. That means a 25% drop, doesn't it? Or thereabouts, 24% drop in the price of your vehicle. Don't forget, that drop is in the price of a vehicle that Auto Trader, the SMMT, BVRLA, EVA England or UK or whatever, that drop is on a car that they think you can save £1,500 a year. Or Colin Walker thinks you can save £1,600 a day. How can something you can save £1,600 a day, or a year, we'll let him off that, a year. How does something that goes down 2% in a month, how can you save £1,600 a year in running costs? Because depreciation is a running cost. The AA, no, depreciation's a running cost. Auto Trader, no. Now, do you want me to show you something that'll make you piss yourself? Auto Trader have done a cost of electric estates. How does electric compare? See how a petrol estate and an electric estate compare on cost below. Estate cost comparison. Petrol, they've used a Megane Sports Tourer. Electric, an MG5 estate. So they've gone through monthly fuel costs, insurance, road tax, depreciation, service costs, and total. Now, the funny thing is, they're showing service costs on the MG5 as more than the Megane Sports Tourer. Insurance, £139, is more than the Megane Sports Tourer. Monthly fuel costs only £27 for the MG5 Estate as opposed to £103 for the Megane Sports Tourer. In total, £686 for the Megane Sports Tourer, £635 for the MG5 Estate. Your monthly saving could be £51 if you went electrical. But just look at this bit here. Find out how we reach these figures. Look at that, the winner. Built for families. Expert review. 5 stars. So let's find out how they reach the figures. Well, depreciation. Figures are based on the difference between the acquisition cost and our forecast residual value after 3 years, 30,000 miles. The government plug-in car grant for qualifying EVs of £2,500 has been applied, reducing the depreciation. So if you divided the £2,500 by the 36 months, that would give you £69.44. Means basically you'd be better off running a Megane Sports Tourer by £18 a month. What a joke. What a sad, pathetic joke. That's how desperate they are to try and make EVs look good. RAC no. The SMMT no. It's a mystery, isn't it? Used EV values fell by 2% in December, the largest monthly drop of any fuel type. The decline equates to an average reduction of around £350 per vehicle and followed a similar fall in November. So then that's 700 quid. By contrast, internal combustion engine ICE vehicles remained relatively stable. Petrol values dipped by 0.75%, diesel by 0.5% and hybrids by 1%, highlighting a growing pricing divide between EVs and other fuel types. Picasso said the accelerated decline in used EV pricing reflects a pincer movement of seasonal demand softening and manufacturer activity. Really funny because I was at John's place the other day and he's basically sells 3-litre diesel Land Rovers, 4-wheel drives. He's non-stop, but he doesn't sell electric vehicles. New car offers diverting demand for used EVs by selling new EVs at a massively discounted price. They are cheaper to buy than used EVs. So, you know, let's be truthful here. The manufacturers are selling new EVs at the price of used EVs. So used EVs are selling, but it's just that you can get one on a finance agreement cheaper, a nearly new one cheaper than you can get, say, a 2-year-old one. What do you want to turn up at home in? A 2-year-old one that you're paying more money for, or one where you can impress your neighbours? As original equipment manufacturers, OEMs, chased zero-emission vehicle ZEV mandate targets towards the end of 2025, a wave of competitive new EV offers is believed to have diverted demand away from used models. Duh! You think? Across the wider used car market, prices at the 3-year age point fell by just over 1% in December, around £200 on average. To be fair, it's neither here nor there, but it's not £200 either. You wish it was £200. 1-year-old vehicles saw a steeper decline of 1.6%, hit by new vehicle registrations. Market activity also slowed, with advertised volumes of 3-year-old stock down around 3% month on month, and total units sold a third lower than November due to the Christmas break. Retail behaviour diverged during the period. Now this is where I keep seeing different stories about the same subject with kind of the same words. And it makes me wonder why. I start to think, is one person writing these stories, or is it one artificial intelligence writing these stories? Independent dealers adjusted prices most aggressively, with values falling by 3.6%, while franchise dealers and car supermarkets held prices more firmly to protect margins. No, they didn't. No, they just didn't. Because when you go on about agility, independents are more agile. If you've got 5,000 cars in stock, you can't react as quick as somebody who's got 20. This is my philosophy. Whenever I've been in charge, when I first started off in sales, I remember we had one car, I think we had it nearly 3 years, and we made profit. We'd had it for ages. It was an unpopular colour, Senator. Hazel brown metallic, I think. Looked beautiful. I loved it. Looked fantastic. But it wasn't a popular colour. And in those days before the internet, we had the vehicle sat there forever. It was on the forecourt, was put on the forecourt every day. And then a stroke of luck happened. There was a crash on the stroke of luck for us. There was a crash on the M6 and the M6 was shut. So what happened? The police diverted all the traffic from the M6 off at Bamber Bridge, down the A6. At that time, the A6, our garage was on the A6. And a guy going past saw this Senator on the forecourt. It was the exact colour and specification he wanted. He pulled off and he bought it. And we made money because cars didn't go down a fortune then. So we still ended up, we didn't make as much, but we made money after about, I think it was 3 years we'd had it, but it was a long time. That was our mentality then. If you had a nice car, it would sell. If it was a nice car, it would sell. Forget about losing money, but now all that's gone. If you have a car, if you have an EV for over a month, you're going to have to reduce that drastically. So, my old philosophy then, my first learnings in the motor trade was, if you've got a nice car, it will sell. These days, that doesn't matter. If you've got a nice car and somebody can go on Auto Trader, somebody's shit car will be listed higher than yours because it's cheaper. A good while ago, we had an absolutely beautiful Porsche Cayman. It was so nice, but it had done a lot of miles, and it transpired really that it was the cheapest one in the UK. When I say the cheapest one, there was one just above it in the price search. And guess what? It was a write-off. So this was my first image. I got fed up of people ringing and saying, how much will you take for it? Well, it's cheap. Well, there's a cheaper one on Auto Trader. Yes, but mine's not a write-off. So that was the first image, not Cat D. There's more than one way to skin a Cat D. You don't get the chance to make a good first impression because the price makes a good first impression, not the vehicle you're selling, not the specification, not how clean, not how well serviced, not what it's had done, whether its tyres are okay, it's had a cam belt, it's just been serviced. None of that matters now because Auto Trader have led dealers down a dark alley and they've come out the other side into a race to the bottom. Many years ago, I saw a film called Heat. Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, Val Kilmer. What a great film. I'd seen the actual original film years and years ago. It was a Michael Mann film. Michael Mann went on to make Miami Vice. It was called LA Takedown when it originally came out. Heat, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. And they're having a conversation. One's a baddie, one's a goodie. And they meet and they're having a conversation.
Don't let yourself get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner.
Don't let yourself get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner. Robert De Niro. That's selling cars these days. You have to move them as fast as possible so you don't get caught with them, and that applies to EVs.